I I used to be like that. Just treading water. Like my assistant would come in at 9:02 a.m. instead of 9 a.m. And I would say to her, there's this thing called dropping calls. I don't know if you know what that is, but
No.
it's basically in the entertainment industry, you have to call people or email people back within a 24-hour period. It's like an unspoken understanding. And so if I was behind, I could just drop a bunch of calls at the beginning of the day before people are actually at their desk. And I would get mad at my assistant. I'd be like, we could have dropped like 10 calls in those 2 minutes. Like I was in a high volume business and, I definitely had moments where I was an asshole because
Uh-huh.
I was, trying to just figure out how to deal
Mhm.
with the sheer volume of what was going on. But I think I had a lesson a few years later. I was working with a producer, multi-Academy Award winning producer. And I was working with them and they were like they played into the notion that you mentioned.
Uh-huh.
And it was my responsibility to shield my investors in the family office from the stress that this person created, because that's what I get paid for,
Uh-huh.
and to solve problems. And so I did that. One day I was talking to this person and I walked into a lunch with one of my investors and he could tell something was wrong. And I said, well, this person's kind of difficult. They're a bit of an arsonist fireman. They're creating problems they know they can solve and it's not great. And my investor said to me, you are an asset to us and you have to protect the asset. And all the hours that you're spending on this one person, you're not spending on the rest of our portfolio. And he was like, we have a new rule as of now, which is you've been prioritizing excellence over being a great human being. In this operation, it's great human being first with a high bar for excellence second. And no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I really had to think through how to deal with that. And what I ended up figuring out for myself was there's a difference between being busy and being effective. I'm being paid to be effective, not to be busy. So all the lunches, all the dinners, all the, phone calls, like I think sometimes people get caught up in feeling really important
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
sense. And I just had to find shortcuts to make sure that I was working with people that I wanted to work with, and just cut out the rest of the noise. And it made me a better person for it.